Hello, welcome, or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. So this is a fun new little series. We're going to be doing the readings by menstrual phase, by following the menstrual cycle. Now, you do not have to be a person who experiences the menstrual cycle in order to watch these messages. Nor do you have to be in that particular phase if you are a menstruating person in order to watch, that particular video. If you follow your cycle or if you track it, then you can save, the other 3 videos and come back to them once you are in that phase or that part of your cycle and, just see how the messages line up with whatever is going on in your life. But, there are 4 phases to the menstrual cycle. So we're going to do a video on menstruation, the follicular, ovulation, and the luteal phase. And we're just going to be using those as themes to build the readings around. So, we're not going to get into biology and hormones and all of that stuff. Maybe just in the sense of, building up and shedding and releasing, that type of thing. But I've already done one reading so far, and it was really beautiful. So I'm really excited to do the other 3 and put these out there. And yeah. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Of course, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to the channel. And so, yeah, let's just get into the reading. Okay, so we are at the ovulation phase. And I just want to say that these readings have been so amazing so far. I don't even know what I was expecting. But literally just the cards that have been coming out and literally how the same words have been used to correlate to the phase that we're talking about. It just has felt really magical. And yeah, I just wanted to just sit in a moment of gratitude with you guys and just say that out loud. So the ovulation phase, a seed has been planted or is ready to be planted, right? This phase is about visibility, confidence, maybe even attraction, as far as pulling the aligned things towards you. Also even, showing up, being seen. Taking a chance, to plant the thing, and also being ready to nurture it, because it's not just planting a seed, right? Well, we'll see what comes up, because yeah, let's just let's get some tarot first around what's being planted, around visibility, around what we are attracting, confidence. This is also, you know, kind of peak energy. So it's also, it's like preparation meeting opportunity. And not only that, but seizing the opportunity. Yeah. We have the Emperor. We have the Chariot. Bro, talk about seizing an opportunity. Look at what look at what the Emperor has in his hand. I've been getting 5 cards out. That's just what's been happening. So we'll see. You know, it doesn't have to be that, but it has worked out really well that way. The 5 of Cups in the middle. Okay. That was operator error. Dude. Are there 2 more cards? There's 2. 8 of Cups and the Sun. The 6 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. We could probably move some of these over here, right? Yeah. Maybe a little bit. Poquito. And then the Sacred Cycles Oracle. I love that there's even a blood moon in the Emperor. Even that might supposed to be Mars. I don't know, because it's a Mars card. Or when is the blood moon? I don't know. I also love that he's wearing red and he's sitting on the ground, which is very grounding. What do you have for us? I've been getting 2 of these. We'll see. Dark Moon, interesting. One more. At least. Uno más. No, that's 4. That's too many. Hey. interesting. We have the last quarter moon, and we had that in the follicular phase video, but it was on like this side. So interesting. And let's get our witch oracle. We have the Labyrinth Walker and the Bard of Truth. We're gonna put a little top on her because for whatever reason, well, you know, female nudity on even if it's on a card on YouTube. And I don't need, you know. Okay. And Alchemy of the Spirit. The Crow. I don't take these reversed. I think that there might be a reversed meaning in, let's just read that first. Because I will forget that it even came out in reverse. The Crow, Spirit of Surrender. Not every battle deserves the same energy. Not every battle needs to be won. The Spirit of the Crow asks you to understand that part of being a warrior is accepting the uncertainty of life and recognizing that sometimes you simply don't have the answer. Being the hero is knowing which battles are worth fighting. Not everything deserves your precious energy. It also means knowing which battles you must step away from, if that means keeping your peace, and which battles you must lose without that meaning give up. What? It also means knowing which battles you must step away from, if that means keeping your peace. And which battles you must lose without that meaning give up. Okay. Yeah, like, okay, I understand. Like losing doesn't mean that you gave up, right? Okay. Life is not about winning all the time. It is about learning. So if right now you must take off the armor and rest, do it. Don't ask yourself for more than your spirit can give you right now. What you can offer at this moment is enough. And then the out of balance message is being over demanding, wasting energy, engaging in unnecessary conflict, feeling like a sore loser. And it's interesting that that would come out on the Five of Cups. You know, I can see, okay, it's all coming together now. Oh yeah, it's all coming together now. Isn't that, I think Crunk says that in, doesn't he? Oh yeah. In The Emperor's New Groove. You know, it's like having, which is interesting. We have the Emperor out here. I was going to say, like, literally having a skosh of the audacity that Cusco has, you know. That's like one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. Is that my voice? What I also love is that, well, first of all, like I said, with this Emperor card, like he's literally holding a seed, an egg, you know, like something. That's also what I mean about like the cards that have been coming out have just been perfect. Even like in the follicular state phase video, the lovers card that came out. Anyway, you'll see it. So what I was going to say with the Emperor and the Chariot, like the Emperor is the masculine expression. And when we think masculine, we think things like initiating, providing, go-getting, audacity, also taking charge or taking control of things. Discipline too. And again, like we're not talking gender here. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on how those principles can rarely be associated to the like actual gender, at least anymore. Again, don't get me started. But we're talking just, because we all have masculine and feminine energies, right? Like we all have the ability to initiate. We all have the ability to go after something, to take charge, to be disciplined, to have audacity even, right? And then on this Chariot card, like this is more, and just going based on the imagery here, there's a feminine presenting or a woman on this card. And the Chariot does talk about divine guidance. Things are moving forward. It's also like, it's interesting because we have this Emperor who is a card of control. And then we have the Chariot who's not even holding on to the reins. That's that whole like Jesus take the wheel kind of thing. However, though, even, okay, better analogy, because better analogy. I'm thinking of Moana. We're just going to stick with Disney movie, which, I was talking about Aladdin in the last video. And how she sets off, initiates, right? Like she gets a boat, she sets off on the ocean to find Maui, right? And she's being guided by the hook in the stars or whatever, right? And however, though, like she is still responsible for making sure that she's still on track, right? So there's this balance between allowing yourself to be guided, following your intuition, and also making sure that the actions that you're taking, the routines, or really, like the routines that you are building discipline around are being done like in a way where it is supporting where you want to go, where you're being guided even to go. And if we're talking ovulation, we're talking planting a seed and, visibility and confidence, and even attraction. You're still like in control of what those things, how you're showing up, what you are attracting, because you don't have to agree to everything that comes your way. We turn on our little beacons or like our little magnets, and just because we attract it doesn't mean that it is for us. So there's even like a discernment aspect. I love to, like when I first saw this Chariot card, I thought of Leo in Titanic. He's like, I'm the king of the world. And I think he ends up getting Rose up there too. Doesn't he? It is interesting though to me that, so like the left side of the card is generally considered the past. The right side of the card is generally considered the future. So it's interesting to me that they are moving in the direction of the past. I mean, there could be something that you're trying again. There could be something that, I mean, like with the Emperor, you're just like, I don't want to let this go yet. This is something that is important to me, and it feels like I can be an authority in, because that's also what the Emperor is. It's an authority. It's your inner authority, but also, I mean, it's like allowing yourself to be seen as an authority. Even like the color red, like it's like a power color. It's a highly visible color. I mean, like think of like there's this lawyer that I saw, I don't know, like who knows when, but all I remember about seeing this video of this lawyer was that she's wearing this vibrant red suit. It conveys a certain energy to it. So even, like it could be even the colors that you're wearing. I don't know. I'm going to see if the book says what this little thing is in his hand. I'm sure there's a word for it. I can't think of what it is, but it's almost like it's feeling like faith, which is a bit of Jesus, take the wheel if you are uh if you believe in God or, whatever, source, spirit, divine. But also for me, it's having faith in yourself. What is the definition of faith anyway? A complete trust or confidence in someone or something. And we're literally talking about confidence. This is having that trust in yourself. And also, I mean, like trusting the actions you want to take, trusting the authority that that you have. And then with this Chariot card, I have no doubt that, again, God, source, divine, or your higher self, your intuition is kind of like pushing you to show up in a certain way, to express yourself in a certain way, maybe to like put yourself out there as an authority in something, or even just to use the information, the guidance. I mean, it could be downloads. I mean, there's 3 stars above her head, and then, there's moons on either side of her. Higher consciousness, downloads. Again, just your inner compass, your inner knowing. The dark moon says, I am a creator being. The dark moon opens up the opportunity to explore a blank slate somewhere in your life. Within the darkness of the void, there is fertile ground for a seed to be planted. See what I mean? So what seed do you hope to plant right now? Before the moon can begin to grow anew, before an oak can sprout from an acorn, you must call forward the vision of each of these in their fullest expression. Now is a time for dreaming, a time to tap into your highest potential. Whether this is through your favorite divination practices, journaling, making a vision board, or meditating, your channel is open to receive the insights that will inspire this next phase of your growth. As you dream, vision, and dance your way toward defining what the next sacred cycle may look like for you, know that the space you are in now holds the most vibrant and exuberant version of your wishes. Let your imagination and hopefulness run wild here, knowing there is nothing to fear in the darkness. And also, I love that both of these cards, all four of these cards, are in the dark. It's also like I just saw this post on Threads earlier that said the natural state of the universe, or like the natural state of Earth, is darkness. The only reason why we have any light is because we orbit the sun. We orbit a star. Yet we're conditioned to operate only during daylight. I can't see anymore. So like, oh, but you know, like when we were younger, maybe it was the same for you. Definitely for me, I wanted to sleep during the day. I fucking hated being awake during the day. I couldn't have imagined being awake as early as I am these days. I get into bed these days at 5 p.m. By the latest 6 p.m. I'm asleep by 8 or 8:30. I'm up at 5 or earlier. If you would have told 20-something-year-old me, or even maybe 30, I would have been like, you're fucking lying. Now I can't imagine. I just cannot imagine. But now I'm kind of like, ooh, that just like, it tickled something in my brain though. Also, like how quiet it is at night. I do love that. It just got crazy windy. My dog door is going. Let me close that. It'd be great if it rained. But yeah. I should have let me put a card in, because I've already forgotten what we just read. So let me just put a card in here in case I need to come back to it. A blank slate. You know, and that, what's the other one? Last quarter moon? I also, again, like, I love that he's like sitting on dirt here with this, whatever that is supposed to be. You know, I'm calling it a seed because we're talking about, what do we want to what's the word? It literally just, I just watched it leave my head. The Emperor. Power, control, stability. The Emperor sits stoically upon his stone throne, holding an ankh, the symbol of life, and an orb, a symbol of dominion. He exudes power, reigning with strong will and intellect. The mountains behind him are suggestive of a solid foundation and unwavering stability. His beard symbolizes his wisdom and his paternal nature, while he maintains a sense of control. This card suggests that your life is at a stable and secure place. You can use your judgment and knowledge to make good decisions. You feel in control of your life because of the hard work and discipline that you have practiced. Maintain your boundaries as others may try to test you. The Emperor also reminds you of your leadership qualities and how you are able to inspire and motivate others. The Chariot says a woman stands on a decorated chariot pulled at great speed by two powerful horses. Also, the light and the shadow side, right? Like the white and the black represent the light and the shadow side, like our not self and then our true self. Kind of, like also like both sides of ego. They run in the direction of the river that flows beneath them, showing the need to surrender to the rhythm of life. This is a card of action, moving forward with drive and discipline. Again, both of these cards mention discipline. Now is a time to put your ideas into play, to work towards your goals with focus and persistence. You should not be tempted by the easy route, but rather be willing to put in extra work required to achieve your goals if necessary. There may be obstacles to overcome, so you should be prepared to use your willpower to continue when the tough gets going. Know who you are fundamentally and follow your heart with determination and conviction. It's interesting because I think it was in the last reading we were talking about, like not having to suffer in order to be successful. And here, like we're building discipline. There's something that we want to, there's a goal or a destination that we want to put our energy into, and also like have some control of, in the sense of like bumpers. Like I just got the image in my head of bowling and then having the bumpers on the side, like not control in just making sure that the ball goes straight down the center, but in the sense of just making sure that wherever you are bouncing around to, again, even with the Moana, reference, that you are just making sure that you are still heading in the direction of your goal, but also like, just allowing there to be space for however that comes in too. The Labyrinth Walker. Yeah, I feel like this is going to probably say better what I just said. Maybe. We'll see. It's been working out that way. Yeah, we all seek comfort. It's human nature. After walking the labyrinth, we desire to sink into the center, relax, stay, maybe build a home there. We yearn to become centered by stasis, as if our spiritual, physical, or emotional well-being is a target we can hit, a status we can achieve. We get to the center and believe we've arrived, as if our well-being is a goal. We get to the center and believe we've arrived, as if our well-being is a goal with a finish line instead of an ever-evolving process, a continuum we walk daily. We seek the center and we want to stay, not realizing the center, if occupied too long, becomes a trap. Stasis turns to stagnation. just like a river that no longer moves, which is interesting that it's like on top of the chariot. This is a time to embrace the continued journey inward toward source, the imaginal and the liminal, and outward towards life, the practical and the tangible, which is also kind of interesting that, like, you know, the emperor is holding the whatever of life and the whatever of dominion, or, you know, like the orb. Which could be the imaginal and the liminal, and then towards life, the practical and the tangible. It really is. So, you know, we've been kind of talking, whoops, did I just, okay, good. About cultivating a life that, or even like a day-to-day, whatever, which I guess is life, right? Duh. But that is yours, and that works for you, and that you don't work for it. And it's almost like this emperor with these two things, and again, like, you know, toward the source, which is the imaginal and the liminal, with the practical and the tangible. It's, you know, kind of bridging the gap, or honoring both things, that, you know, your intuition with tangible action, practical, you know, applications towards things. And even just getting really familiar with, it's also even like, too, I just felt this in my body about our emotional and our logical, you know, our body and our brain, our intuition and our ego. And then it says, a witch knows her journey moves in both directions, inward and outward, and doesn't count the steps inward as accomplishment, nor the required steps outward as failure. She embraces both expansion and entropy, and is devoted to the path as it circles and changes. It did start to rain a little bit. I hope that it rains more. I also love all the purple on here. Feels very like third eye, very crown, very, you know, two upper chakras, especially because we were talking about higher consciousness and divine, you know, guidance, surrender. The Five of Cups being in the middle. Also interesting that it's raining right now. And I don't know if you heard the thunder, but thunder means there was lightning at some point. And look at the lightning. There's a storm going on. Wow. Talk about being supported. What are the odds? Very cool. We already read The Crow, and this to me feels like even this labyrinth walker could go along with that, but it's not attaching a certain outcome to the feeling of success or failure, which I think the labyrinth walker said, or no, I forgot. And it's 11:11 right now. What, number 25? we get to the center and we believe we have arrived, as if our well-being is a goal to with a finish line instead of an ever-evolving process. It's like, this to me feels like getting to a certain place and being like, I thought this was what's going to make me feel fulfilled. I thought this is what was going to make me feel worthy or give me a sense of worth. I thought this was going to be the thing that I could, like attach myself to, or like this was going to be my niche, or it's interesting because there's, these flowers around her. There's purple liquid coming out of the cups too. This card talks about grief, disappointment, loss. I mean, look at this card. Every one of us has felt this way in some capacity. Maybe a seed that we planted didn't root. Maybe we felt like we were heading in the direction that we were guided, and the result didn't result the way that we wanted it to. Maybe through that process we come up against some unresolved grief within ourselves. There's these 3 cups that are turned over here. There's still 2 cups over here. And the message with the 5 of cups is all is not lost. It's okay to focus on what hasn't worked, or especially when it comes to grief. Also, it's imperative to allow yourself to navigate grief so that you can see that there are still 2 cups, and that maybe whatever was in those 3 cups, bad timing, unanswered prayers. I mean, like, the Garth Brooks song. Unanswered prayers, like, it's we think we know what's best for ourselves, right? Which also even goes back to like the control thing. We think we know what's best. And a lot of that comes from disappointment and loss that we've experienced in the past. And we're trying to prevent ourselves. That's what ego does. Like, we're trying to prevent ourselves from experiencing those experiences or those feelings, since it's cups, again. So we want to try to control all things that we can control in order to avoid feeling this. That's also like, it just feels like rock bottom. It doesn't feel like that's where you're necessarily going to end up. Disappointment, pessimism, failure. Turbulent and stormy skies loom over a woman sitting on the shore. Around her lay scattered chalices, spilling their contents. This scene portrays disappointment and failure. The dark and ominous sky suggests you may feel beaten or broken. However, look closely and you will see that 2 of the 5 cups remain standing, a sign that you should not give up hope. The Five of Cups asks you to stop focusing on past failures and instead look toward new opportunities. Negative experiences are essential for growth and can be viewed as valuable lessons. Choose to invest your precious energy in the two standing cups. Positivity will see you through this storm. I also love that the next card we have is the Eight of Cups. I'm not done with this Five of Cups yet, but the last video that I put out, I think I started talking about this lesson in gratitude that I came to while consuming mushrooms, because I do that twice a week for wellness, and it's like part of my spiritual practice. But gratitude is a practice in being present, right? And have you heard the phrase, if you are fearful, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're calm, you're living in the present. Speaking of control, because we have no control over the past or the future, which is where that fear, because we have information from the past, right? Like we know what happens because it already did. And the anxiety of the future is worry that the past is going to repeat itself in the future. Neither one of those things are true. Neither one of those things exist right now. So gratitude being a practice and being present, it's what can I control right now? What direction am I heading in right now? What am I building my discipline practice around in order to grow? How am I showing up? Where is my confidence? Where's my lack of confidence? What am I attracting? So like this Five of Cups is, again, it's being too far in the past. And also, like our nervous systems are conditioned to the past. Because again, we have data, we have information of how things went in the past when maybe you had something like the Emperor and the Chariot that you wanted to focus your attention on, that you were disciplined around, and maybe it didn't go the way that you wanted it to. And that created such a visceral reaction in your body that your ego, because I'm looking at these white and black horses here, was like, we're not doing that again. Or we're going to remember that. And if you start inching closer to like trying to do something similar, we're going to start reminding you, right? Like, and that's where the anxiety starts coming in, or even, the fear. And it's looking at these three cups and what happened there. But then it's like, knowing that there's still these two other cups, but it's like, if that's all that I have, because now that's kind of scarcity. I don't know, like if I only have two cups left and if three of them, the odds are not looking great, right? There's information in those cups, though. There's experience in those cups. There's opportunity in those cups. And even like with the Crow card being here in the middle again, and it was it's talking about something. Let me see. Oh, I almost opened to the right page. Being over demanding, which I feel like is kind of like being over controlling, wasting energy, engaging in unnecessary conflict, feeling like a sore loser. Even too, the part about not every battle deserves the same energy. Not every battle needs to be won. That's the other thing. Like also expecting that every outcome is going to be positive. Like it's just not, I mean, of course we want it to be, because of course, that feels better. But I think the book said, negative feelings or emotions or experiences have just as much information as positive, because you know how you want to feel and you know how you don't. You know what works for you and you know what doesn't. You know how certain things make you feel and how they don't, you know? And if we're only ever allowing ourselves to experience good emotions, and we're also like limiting ourselves to growth and potential, because you're afraid to feel bad, or you're afraid to experience grief. Like there's information in there. Not to mention, there's energy being trapped in grief and being trapped in fear and even anxiety. And truly, like, the only thing that is actually happening right now is what's happening right now. And that's all you have control over. And then it's the next step, the next decision. And allowing yourself to like baby yourself through it too. Go slow. I know the chariot's like boom, 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 but feel into things. What I also love is that, when I was saying like, oh, like we only have 2 cups left. Dude, this bitch over here, and I mean that in the most endearing way possible, she's walking away from 8. And you're worried about 2? No. At some point you're going to be like, oh, the whole collection isn't for me. The whole shit isn't. Because there's these 2 cups here. There's the 5 or the 3 that you've already tasted, that you've already, felt into. There's 2 more. There's going to be another 3, because, 5 plus 3 is 8. This also even feels like, trying to, it's like trying to be satisfied with what is available to you, what you think is available to you. Because the 8 of Cups, not only are they walking away from the 8 cups because there's nothing there for them. They've tried every cup, didn't like it, didn't feel fulfilled or purposeful. Maybe just also like on an intuitive level, not for me. This also is trusting the uncertainty. I think maybe the Labyrinth Walker was like talking about that. Was it? I don't even remember. But they're walking towards the 9 of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, having your desires met, purpose, fulfillment. And 9s are individual. So it's whatever your individual dream is, whatever would be wish fulfillment for you. And this is literally, we don't see the 9th cup anywhere, right? This is just like a knowing that there is a 9th cup. Which would be the Ace of Cups in this scenario. And the Ace of Cups is overflowing. It's knowing how to fill your own cup. It's knowing how to love yourself. It's knowing even too, like how you accept love, how you want to be loved, which informs how you give it. Your emotional capacity, your emotional, availability. Not to mention, she's like literally walking towards the sun card, which is joy and bliss, which is like these crazy lace agate stones over here. Like they talk about joy. And they absorb emotional pain. Interesting with the 5 of Cups. Reduce anxiety. Labradorite is protection, transformation. There's black tourmaline that kind of shields against negativity and is very grounding. What's tiger's eye? Oop. Vibrant energy of the sun. Stabilizing forces of the earth to balance the lower chakras. Spiritual protection, clears mental blockages. There's smoky quartz out here. At least one. I think this is supposed to be smoky quartz. It's just not very smoky. Neutralizing negative energies, relieving stress, fostering emotional stability. What does this Bard of Truth talk about? Self-deprecation, deep modesty, self-doubt. These are the results of living in fear of judgment, caged in a system that judges women for speaking out and standing true. Dude, and that is sitting on top of the 8 of Cups. Shut up. There's this pigeon outside that's like sunbathing. It's like got its wings all spread out. There wasn't much of a storm. It literally like drizzled for like 5 seconds. But I also think it's interesting that that came through like when we were talking about the 5 of Cups. Anyway, our lives are not our own as long as we fear being transparent. When we allow ourselves to shrink with fear of being judged or shamed for speaking up, or standing out from the status quo, we have lost the very essence of what makes us feel most alive, our authenticity. Our authenticity is our practical magic. Our truth is key to our resilience, our radiance, and our confidence. Bro, and we're talking about all of those things. It is connected to our grace, like the swan, and also to our heart's music. And like a sweet melody, it is a prime recovery tool when sad, overwhelmed, anxious, or depressed. It is our greatest asset in maintaining our vibe and attracting our tribe. Without it, we feel cut off from our joy and wonder and our sense of connection. Speak up, speak out, speak true. Also, I think too, like through this whole process that we've been talking about, the last 2 videos and this one, I think it's also just this realization of how we have masked ourselves to like fit in, or, to feel accepted. And a lot of healing, a lot of like the spiritual journey, at least to me, is shedding all of those things. But then it's very fucking vulnerable to not have like that framework, right? Like I think we were talking about in this reading, I think we were talking about like with fear or anxiety, right? Like With fear, from the past, like we have information to draw from. We have results. We tried something, we have a result from it. And getting to a point where it's like, I'm going to try again. And I'm going to keep trying. And I'm going to keep showing up, because that's what my soul, that's what my being, that's what my own inner authority wants me to do. And also, like, having to I keep wanting to say like nurture yourself. I don't think that's the right word, but feel like safe enough within yourself to take care of yourself if or when the 5 of Cups thing happens, or when those feelings come up, or when you feel vulnerable, or like when you feel, because even, like being visible, highly vulnerable, even, like being in authority, showing leadership, taking control of your life, right? I mean, like, people could have opinions about that. And believe me, like, I'm one of those people that I would love to just like completely disappear and show up somewhere else, not knowing anybody. And I did do that. I mean, I moved to a different state when I was like 22, 23. I didn't know anybody. It was amazing. Nobody knew me. Nobody had expectations or preconceived notions. I could be whoever the fuck I wanted to be. It's harder to do that around people that you know. But we think that, right? Like, because we're afraid that they're going to be judging us, or it's really our own judgment that we're terrified that maybe they would agree with, or maybe they would actually say out loud. But then also, like, if somebody were to judge me the same way that I judge myself, I'd be like, fuck you. So it's like, it's this dumb, cycle. Because seriously, like, if somebody else talked to me the way that I talk to myself, or judge me the way that I judge myself, I wouldn't be friends with them. I would almost use that as, like spite, or what, like, I'm going to do this even more now. I'm going to show up even more now this way. Fuck you. But me to myself, oof. The sun is literally, I mean, talk about grounding as well. We start with the Emperor grounding. We end with the sun grounding. Grounding might just be a big thing. And by grounding, like, I just mean in the sense of, like, being present. Not head in the clouds. This is joy and bliss and rebirth and rejuvenation. And I mean, truly, life force energy. Like, we literally wouldn't even exist if our planet didn't rotate in the way that it does, in the amount of time that it does, at the distance that it is, like, from the sun. The last quarter moon says it's safe to slow down. It takes trust to relax into the process of growth, manifestation, and personal expansion. The last quarter moon opens the space for you to deepen trust in yourself and the cycle of life. This is a time of slowing down and turning inward. Just as the moon is not always full and bright, you too are allowed to wane and release into moments of stillness. Be sure to build open spaces into your schedule when possible, and put self-care at the top of your priority list. Any resistance you feel towards slowing down is a helpful clue for your growth. Acknowledge and sit with it for a moment, because it's also like we've been conditioned that like if something doesn't happen right away, it's not successful. You know, like if the first video that we post isn't immediately viral, it's a failure. I haven't had a viral video at all on YouTube. I did on Instagram once 3 years ago. 4 years ago. Actually, it was 2022. Granted, I don't really post on Instagram anymore. But right? I mean, like we're that's just one example, you know. But it's like if it doesn't happen right away, if we don't get it right away, if we're not immediately amazing at it, you know, we're like, we suck. That's at least how I am. Any resistance, blah, blah, blah. Acknowledge and sit with it for a moment. Then take the vital step of reprogramming any beliefs you hold that make you feel you need to prove your worth through productivity or habits that push you to forget you are enough just as you are. Begin the process of simply pausing and finding a way to connect with nature. While observing Mother Nature and her cycles, a new truth about the beauty of the last quarter moon and its importance will emerge and soothe you. I also love how they were both sitting on the ground. They're both in the same position. As above, so below. Roots in the ground, right? Like crown open. But not open to any bullshit, just open to whatever is in your highest good and the highest of anybody involved. And everybody in general. But we block out any bullshit, you know, any negativity. Although, going back to it, negativity is information. So... Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Giving and taking. This is an energy exchange. There's no strings attached when it comes to the Six of Pentacles. So, you know, there's a reciprocity energy there. Whatever you are putting out, you are getting back. It could be a grant. You know, it's pentacles, so it could have to do with money, work too. Like, you know, whatever work you end up doing, it's like you want to be in spaces where you are being compensated appropriately, the work-life balance. This could even be volunteering as well. I mean, we can see this figure is dropping money into, you know, this person's hand. They have the means to do that. And you can be any one of these people on this card. Again, I mean, there could be something that you have skills, information, training, expertise, divine, you know, consciousness around. And this is sharing that with other people. And them receiving. Did I read all of the cards? I think I did. I feel complete with this. I just got really tired too. Whatever's up with that. So, you know, if you feel the need to sleep, honor that. Pausing, resting is just as important for growth as doing. And there's probably going to come a time where you're going to be busy and you're going to wish you rested. Also, it's like, it's following your own like inner guidance, whatever you need to do for yourself to take care of yourself, still allowing yourself to move forward, plant seeds, do the things that build the discipline, but then also, taking care of yourself if and when these 5 of Cups things come up. Beautiful. All right, I'm leaving it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.